Hey, thanks for tuning in. I want to take us back to a time when there was this anticipation, a readiness to receive, to experience, to know, to see this coming King, this Savior who would come and who would redeem all of mankind and restore all things to God the Father in heaven. And what we have is this moment in Psalm 2 where the author's looking around and he's going, everything in this world is so broken. Everything is so damaged. There's things that are just wrong, that are functioning in ways that they just shouldn't function. Kingdoms and nations that are just reaching out and antagonizing and destroying one another. And there's all this destruction and calamity. And he says, I'm going to stop focusing on them. I'm going to stop focusing on what's happening around me. And I'm going to look to the promise of the coming King. Take a look at this. It's Psalm 2, starting in verse 6. It says, "As for me, I have set my King on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with the rod of iron and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." You see, the promise is that there's a coming Savior, a coming King who's going to rule all of these nations, who's going to put them in their appropriate place, where we're going to see that the righteous are separated from the wicked. Those who responded to God, received Him, moved towards Him, accepted His free gift, and lived in His covenant relationship with Him. And then those who said no. Those who said, no, that's not for me. I'm going to do my own thing and go my own way. This is what we look at when it comes to Christmas. That God loved the world so much that He didn't want to leave the nations raging. He didn't want to leave them to their own demise. He didn't want to leave us to destroy one another, to live in pain and suffering and death. And so He sent Jesus to come and to save us, to provide for us in ways that we could not provide for ourselves, and to give us everything that we need. This is what our Christmas series, Standing on the Promises, is all about. It's about recognizing these promises, that since the beginning of time, the life of faith has been built on the promises of God and His faithfulness to deliver. As a church, we eagerly wait for the Lord to deliver. We eagerly wait for Him to move and for us to be able to join Him in how He's reaching this community for His own glory. As we come together again this week, we're going to be looking at 2 Samuel chapter 7. It's the Davidic covenant, where God makes His covenant with David. And I hope that you'll read it in advance, that you'll be ready for it, because there's going to be a lot to digest. But as we come together for worship, we're also going to talk a little bit about where the church budget is, that we, as of last Sunday, we're about 14-15% behind from meeting budget. I want you to know we're now at about 11%. And so I'm just grateful for your generosity. I'm grateful for your readiness to support the Lord and the church and to worship Him by giving of your own money and tithes and offerings. And so I just want to thank you for your generosity and your co-laboring in ministry. This is doing ministry together. It's paying for the kingdom work to be able to be done. And so thank you for that. We're moving in the right direction, and we hope to meet the full year's budget before the end of the year here. So if the Lord is still stirring something inside of you, I want to encourage you to give. Also, as we look forward, we're excited as our college ministry is getting ready to kick off, and Pastor Sean is going to talk about that more on Sunday. It's called UP Collective. And then we're going to look at some of the men's ministry events that are coming up, that we have a great group of guys who are signed up to go to Lake Lundgren for the men's retreat, and a Bible study that's starting, in the men's trip in the spring. There's so much going on here, so much opportunity for us to build God's kingdom together. And with that in mind, I want to invite you to be on the lookout for those who are visiting here at Grace Church, to welcome them, to greet them, to interact with them. And maybe don't assume that they haven't been attending, because sometimes we run into people who have been attending, but we just haven't encountered them yet. And so I want to encourage you to approach people who you don't recognize, to introduce yourself, and just say, hey, I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad that we got to meet, and to be able to maybe even invite them into a time of prayer where you just say, hey, can I just pray over you? Can I pray that the Lord would anoint you and anoint your life? We want to be a people who prays first, who commits everything to the Lord in prayer, and that includes one another. And so let's encourage each other. Let's enrich each other in the faith by stirring up our affections for the Lord through prayer, through being warm and welcoming and greeting one another, and through even saying, hey, what are you doing for lunch today? And inviting people to come and join us. Let's be hospitable, and let's reach out to those who are looking for God, who are coming into this place wondering where He is, what He's doing, how He's at work in this world. We're excited to do ministry with you, to build God's kingdom here in this place, and to worship His name on Sunday.